What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zoe with No Days Off DFS here to bring that WNBA slate breakdown for the 5-game, somewhat okay, decent WNBA slate we got on the day. If you guys are new here, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you guys don't miss any of the content your boy puts out over here on the channel. Drop a like on this video if this video and my other videos content has helped you guys win some money. Let's talk about it real quick. Sunday slate was a doozy, at least for your boy, because I swear, some of the things that I expect to happen, of course, don't happen. I mean, I write it up. I write up exactly how I see stuff going. And one thing that I do need to point out is that I'll give you my thoughts, especially, and I'll say it. It all depends on their pricing. Someone can go out there, and Kelsey Mitchell is the prime example of this. Someone like Kelsey Mitchell can go out there and have an amazing game. Of course, I cannot predict the OT game, things like that, so on and so forth. But for her to go out there and do what she did, of course, I personally was not going to play that because of her price. I didn't like the price and how scoring dependent she was. And when you look at it, she's going out there dropping 30 plus points, which how often do we see someone in the W go out there and do that outside of Fee, Asia, Stewie, Sabrina, like players like that? Kelsey Mitchell, I get it. She's been putting the team on her back. She's been carrying them, doing all this, that, and the third. But her price just became so elevated. I didn't see the value in taking her right there. And that's just an example of a player that you don't expect to do it because their price just so crazy, and then players that are mispriced, and it takes they don't get there. They don't get you the sustenance that they're supposed to get to. Now, with all that being said, if you stack that first game, the Fever taking on the Connecticut Sun, you definitely did amazing. I, of course, only took one play from that game, which was Odyssey Sims. I had that inside of my core. I talked about it on stream. Like, I really felt like the only play you needed from that game, and you could just go ahead and trickle down throughout the day, was just take Odyssey Sims. That's the key value piece. I expected her to start, and lo and behold, she did. Great. Cool. We kept it pushing. Asia Wilson, Zan Lucini. Zan Lucini, of course, came back down to earth. That Golden State Valkyries game, taking on Atlanta, it just wasn't it. 25 points scored by both teams in the first half. I knew it was a wrap. It was not great. It was not great at all. But hey, we live. It's another day. If you're still here and you're still playing on the WNBA season, one, good on you. You have resilience, because this is very much an up and down sport. It is random, very inconsistent. But when you hit, you hit. And you do very, very good. I will admit, like, Skylar killed me on my own props. I missed out on 500 just simply because Skylar couldn't get me 2 assists. And it blew my mind watching that game, because Skylar is literally camped in the corner, guarded by Sammy Whitcomb like she's a 3-point shooter, sitting in the corner. Gabby Williams is initiating the offense. Of course, if I play Gabby's assist, Gabby ain't going to go out there and give me the damn assist. The day I play Skylar's assist, hey, and I took it for her below her average on the season is the part that really killed me, man. But you know what? You live, you learn. We're going to keep it pushing. We're going to keep it going. All right. Minnesota taking on New York Liberty. For whatever reason, this is like a playoff series in the middle of the season. I don't know why. 3 straight games, they're going up against each other. Even better, they are traveling back and forth. 1 game in Minnesota, 1 game in New York, another game in Minnesota. It doesn't make any sense how we are so deep into the season, and this is literally what we have to look forward to and look at. I really don't even want to play that game. I don't want to look at that game, because I'm honestly tired of breaking it down and just covering it. Nothing truly has changed besides the prices of the players. That's it. That's the only thing that, and honestly, why the hell is Kayla McBride 9,100? Why? Why would you price her up? That doesn't make any sense, DraftKings. 26, 22, and she dropped that 35.75 in that first one, but she didn't really mess with it. She ain't got there in the last couple ones. But all right, I digress. Minnesota Lynx taking on New York Liberty. Shout out to the Indiana Fevers. It sucks that Make America Great Again Barbie, she might be down for a minute. Hopefully she comes back, but peep this. Matter of fact, I'm gonna save it for when I get to that game. Fee, she is doubtful to play tomorrow, so she's still going to be out. So it should still be the Courtney Williams, Kayla McBride, Carlton, Alana Smith, Jessica Shepard for the Minnesota Lynx. On the New York Liberty side, they are still going to be without Brianna Stewart. Isabel Harrison, she's already been ruled out for a head and concussion. And Naira Sabali, honestly, what's wrong with her at this point? Because I could have, okay, it's a knee. Because before y'all kept saying it was just rest. Now it's a knee. Interesting. On the Lynx side of things, just looking at it, Courtney Williams, she's in the exact same spot that she's been able to crush and smash going up against them. I will admit 10-6 is a bit rich to sit here and have to pay for her. Of course, no Nafisha Collier is still going to put her primarily in play. GPP option just because of her price. I do believe we have some better guards later on the slate that we can go to. You got the Washington Mystics guards over here that we can get to over here. Seattle taking on Chicago. Seattle guards, that'll be prime position and spot. The Aces guards are also good as well. But Courtney Williams, definitely do not mind it. 10-6, good spot. She's been able to cook versus them. That mid-range, she's literally just cooking it. She's killing it. Of course, you can go ahead and assist the ball in playmaking, get those things as well. If they decide they want to adjust, and this is how you can play this right here, you pivot off of Courtney Williams, you come down to Kayla McBride. It's going to be the Kayla McBride show. And McBride, she can go out there and get you some assists as well and be able to do that. We see the flip of the script. McBride's out there getting the buckets. McBride's out there getting cheeky little 4 or 5 assists. And hey, everybody's happy. Good day. Make the segments right there. Outside of that, I will say Alana Smith, she's cooked every matchup. She's been able to dominate. She's been great being able to stretch the floor. Emma Meeson, Jonquil Jones, they are a little bit a tad too slow, a step too slow. She's been doing great on the defensive side, getting the blocks, getting some steals, rebounding, even with Jessica Shepard being out there. I do not mind her as a good mid-tier option piece. I will say 8,600. She is priced right around someone else that I would much rather play. Well, that I do want to play over her instead, but still, I will have to say 86, not bad. I do love coming down here to Jessica Shepard, who I was on last slate. Double upside once again. She's healthy, she's good to go. I felt like that last game where she played going up against New York, she had an injury tag going into that. She wasn't 100%. She looked much better in this last game. The rebounding chops, they're definitely going to be there. The fact that she's going to go out there and play 30 minutes and she's only priced at 8K lets you come down and get some savings, come down here to her. We know she can get us some defensive stops as well, but also the ability for her to get some assists and things like that. I do like the upside for her right there on that. Dejanay Carrington playing off the bench. Minutes only went down because she wasn't really all that effective. Didn't look too good out there in the last game. GPP option, especially at the price tag sitting at 65. The fact that her and Carlton pretty much split minutes. Carlton 19 minutes, didn't look too good out there herself as well. Honestly, I really don't like it, especially with Carrington just being there. I see no reason to go there to her. Natasha Heidemann, GPP option, and honestly, I wouldn't mess with anything else below that. On the New York Liberty side of things, looking at them, Sabrina Ionescu, that's 11-7 pay up option right there. She's getting flocked. She's getting harassed out there on the defensive side of things, but she still makes for a decent option as a GPP spend up that you can get to. I personally probably will not be getting there to her. She's playing back at the crib. She's at home. It's okay, but I don't like it. Honestly, going up against Lynx, one of the things that they are trying to do is keep the ball out of Sabrina's hands, make Cloud actually go out here and attempt to beat you, but Cloud's not even trying to step up to the plate and do that right there. Meesman, she's having trouble because she's actually getting trapped out there on the corners. She's having to give the ball up. She's not hasn't been able to find her real true offensive rhythm going up against the Minnesota Lynx so far, being over there. Looks like she might have had a little something going towards the end of the game, but picked up a couple of ticky-tacky fouls, but definitely wouldn't mind Meesman as a GPP pivot option right here. I think Jonquil Jones, if she can just continue to be aggressive, 7 of 11 from the field, really great, good. The upside is there for her if they just go ahead and feed her, continue to look for Jonquil and get her the rock. Outside of that, Phoebus GPP option. Really, I don't care in regards to Phoebus, Talbot, Jones, both of those GPP. I see no need to necessarily go right there. Connecticut Sun taking on the Washington Mystics over here for them. No injury news currently right now as it stands. One thing that I will note is that Bria Hartley, do you guys think that she on purpose went down into Sophie Cunningham's leg? Do you really think so? I watched it back. I seen a little smirk and stuff in regards to, I don't know if she was smirking because Sophie got hurt. I'm not gonna say that she's a dirty player just yet, but ain't looking too good. The jury is not looking good on her. But Bria Hartley, she's out here, she's playing. She's actually kind of, to me, looking like she's losing minutes to Sanaya Rivers, who's been stepping up and playing amazing over these last couple games when it comes down to it for me. But Sanaya Rivers being priced at 7,200 and you're not starting, I see no reason for me to go there. And you're only giving me 30-something fantasy points at 7,200 when LeCann is doing the exact same thing. She's out there rolling, cooking, and she's looking more like she's the point guard for this team, facilitating rock. 14 assists in that last game. Didn't do great getting any scoring, but 50% from the field, I'll take that all day. If you're giving me this upside, and I know she has that defensive upside as well, I do not mind going to LeCann as a potential option right here from the Connecticut Sun side of things. Tina Charles, she's on the road going up against the Washington Mystics. I really kind of don't feel like going over here to play Tina. Not bad. GPP option. I don't see real reason to get there. Marina Mabry, 9,200. Of course, she's going to she was trying to go out there and get a good 40, 45 because I said I didn't see a reason to pay her, especially at 9,400. I still don't see a reason to go and take her at 9,200. Yes, the defensive chops going up against Washington is not the same since they've lost Sykes, but still, it's the Washington Mystics. They play at a slow pace, and they will try to force you off that 3-point line and harass. I don't see a reason to go to Marina Mabrey here in this spot. Murrow, though, I do like her here in this position spot. We have seen opposing power forwards actually go out here and play pretty freaking well going up against Kiki. Of course, in the one game that she did play earlier in the season going up against them, Murrow, she played off the bench. She played 17 minutes, only had 7 fantasy points. I am scared to trust it. But look at the minutes, 34, 28, 24. I understand that was an OT game, but still, the minutes. She's playing some decent minutes. They're fine. I'm scared to say that they're letting her shake loose. I like it, but understand it does come with some risk, because at any moment in time, they could be like, hey, you know what? Nope. And this is where I will say it's risky, because if Connecticut, if they got some type of heart and they're like, you know what? Aaliyah Edwards, we know how you felt about being stuck on the bench over here versus them. You going up against your former team now. Let me let the leash loose a little bit for you to go ahead and cook. This is if I'm making two lines, I'm making one with Aaliyah Edwards just for the GPP upside for her to just go out here and smash the hell out of the Washington Mystics to get a get back if they let her get loose, cook, and just run. That's all I'm gonna say on that right there. Like, legit, that's all I'm gonna say right there on that. Outside of that, though, in all seriousness, LeCan will be my favorite play over here from the Connecticut Sun. No narrative added right there, but Aaliyah Edwards, just for the fact of she is placing her former team, I do like some upside. Olivia Nelson-Adota, I don't see any reason really, honestly, to go there to her when it comes down to it. On the Washington Mystics side of things, honestly, of course, we can attack going up against Connecticut Sun everywhere. Shakira Austin, she was back, and I know you guys were freaking out like, oh, Austin's back, she's playing, she was out there crushing it. 29 fantasy points in 18 minutes. That's it. Now, if they would have let her go ahead and cook and play more, yes, she would have burnt us. She would have killed it. She would have destroyed it all. But to only get 29 fantasy points at 10K was not worth it. We dodged a bullet right there on that. Now, she played 18 minutes. I would imagine maybe we can get her up to 25. I don't mind her here going up against Connecticut Sun, because we have seen all centers go out here and have big days versus the Connecticut Sun. Aaliyah Boston just dropped 45, Cardoso 41, Asia Wilson 67, Jonko Jones 42, Ezzy Magmagor 30. Shakira Austin, if she's in her bag, she's cooking, she's able to go out there and do it, she can go out here and kill and have a amazing day. Now, on the Suns, going up against them on the season, she's only played them twice off of the bench. She did not start in those 2 games early in the season when they played versus them. So I do like her for the upside that she could possibly bring here in this position spot. Sonya Citron, the price has dropped down from the 9K range after having a decent game versus the Sparks. I don't understand why the price would drop down on her all of a sudden. I will say, going up against the Suns, she only had 26 and 24 fantasy points. The ball's in her hands. They're looking for her. She's the primary scorer over here for them. You're facing versus the Suns. We just saw exactly what Kelsey Mitchell just did. She is the bona fide scorer over here for them. I don't mind her. Like the upside. That's a safe option and play to me right there in the position and spot. And then lastly is going to be Kiki, who also has the usage right there as well. With Sonya, she dropped 37 fantasy points in the first game versus the Connecticut Suns, 22 in the second one. She's been balling and hooping over the last couple games. Double. She's got a streak going on right now. Double streak. She can do that again here going up against the Sun. I like her. Definitely do not mind her at all. Emily Inkster, Dolson is out, so Emily is still going to have minutes to play. 6,400, way too much to play for her, especially with her backing up and coming off the bench. Now, if you're worried about Shakira Austin for the fact that Dolson's not going to be there and Emily's probably going to come in to soak up those minutes and burn, okay, cool. Maybe, yes, you can go over there and mess with that. But I just think that 64 is a bit too much to pay for Emily, especially when I can get probably the same upside for Shug Sutton, who's been hooping. She's out there. She's playing close to 30 minutes. This is a great spot for her as well in this position spot. Jade Melbourne, who looks like she's starting to get her footing. She's starting. She can go out there and play 24, 25 minutes. JC Sheldon is still out, so those backup guard minutes are pretty much secured right there. You're not going to be worrying too much. The only person who's coming off the bench and playing in that role is Olsen, who she's going to be there, but has to score pretty well in order for her to actually give us any type of upside. Outside of that, Alicia Clark, though, I do like her, especially with JC Sheldon being out. We're seeing some pretty solid minutes for her off the bench. They like her veteran leadership. She looks like she has her footing. And to me, she's a really key, nice value piece that you can get to if you're not trying to chase the narrative of Aaliyah Edwards on the flip side. I definitely do like the upside that going with Clark gives you on tomorrow, because I think that she can go out there and get you about 15, 20 fantasy points, especially in this matchup versus the Connecticut Sun. Seattle Storm taking on the Chicago Sky. And this is what I was going to say about the Chicago Sky. I think that what I said in prior videos, that when Angel Reese, we're seeing her ramping up to come back, we're going to see someone else be ready to come back. Came out that Angel Reese was practicing yesterday. She's listed questionable today. If you paid attention to the news for the Indiana Fever, they just waived somebody. Somebody just went bye-bye. I think somebody is getting ready to come back as well. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I really felt like both of them, that they've been on the shelf, not necessarily together on purpose, but it just ended up being that way. That's all. That's all. All right, Seattle Storm. I have no clue what the hell is going on with this team. When I think that it's going to be a good Skylar Diggins matchup, all of a sudden Sykes is going out there just doing a whole bunch. When I think it's going to be a decent NECA matchup, Gabby Williams is going out here and she's just crushing it and having a good day. So in all honesty, it is what it is. It's Russian roulette with the Seattle Storm. I will say though, Gabby Williams, great, amazing spot for her to go out here and crush. If she's gonna have the playmaking duties like what she just did in this last game, 28.75 fantasy points versus Phoenix Mercury, she can do a hell of a lot more, especially if she can get involved on the defensive side. We do know that Chicago Sky do turn the ball over quite a bit. They're top 5 in regards to turnovers a game. I love the upside, love the position, love the spot for Gabby Williams here in the spot. Definitely is the cheaper option between the big three. Well, I guess we got to say big four for them if we got to actually include Sykes. But between the big three of NECA, Skylar, and Gabby, it's going to be Gabby Williams. Love the upside, love the position, love the spot. She went out there earlier this season and dropped, I want to say, close to 40 fantasy points versus them. Oh, well, 33 fantasy points, not bad at all. Skylar Diggins, if we actually can get Skylar of old, I don't mind her at all, but she is a GP option. Maybe if she's actually facilitating and running the point like she normally should. She had 39 fantasy points versus them earlier this season. Great position in the spot, of course, as we do know. She should be able to go out here and dominate. NECA was the only one that had a down game. 18 fantasy points out there in 20 minutes. Really didn't do too much going up against them. Of course, the game was a blowout. 95-57. Skylar, Gabby, they were out there doing their thing. Of course, we know if the game ends up being a blowout, who's going to get pulled first? NECA. And we're going to see what? Malonga be able to come in here and go out here and smash, have a good day. Malonga sitting at 6,200. Definitely do not mind her. Those minutes, they pretty much look like they're stable. We're going to get 15, close to 20. If the game gets out of hand, we can see even more for her to be able to go out there and crush. Don't mind her as a GPP option, not a must play. Very risky when taking bench players who are priced above 5,500. That's always my rule right there. I typically do not try to play bench players that are over 5,500 simply because you never know. You never know when they're not going to get that run. Erica Wheeler, GPP option right there as well. Ezzy Madmagor, I don't mind her. Typically, this is where she shines, where it can be a block party. This is definitely one of those games where it can be. Only thing is that we have seen Malonga been cutting into her minutes. Granted, she has played 28, 27, 31 over her last 3 games. Maybe the minutes are stabilizing. They like her for the size. They are going to need her going up against Cardoso. So this is a decent spot for her to be able to go out there and play her normal minutes. Going up against them earlier this season, when they did play, she went out there, she played 23 minutes, had 25 fantasy points. Well, how many blocks? 3 blocks, 1 steal, 9 points, 5 rebounds. Give me just a little bit more. I know she can go out there and crush. Of course, there is upside definitely in going with Malonga over her instead. On the Chicago Sky side of things, if Chi-Town Barbie is back, completely different team. At 11.6 though, I'm not going to pay that for her. Cardosa, 10.7. Elizabeth Williams, 9K. Only if Reese is in. If Reese is out, then yes, we're going to look towards Cardoso. We're going to look towards Elizabeth Williams, because who actually shines going up against Seattle? Opposing bigs, those rebounders, because Seattle is still bottom 3 in the league in rebounds that they give up. That's a prime spot for Cardoso, who can get her easy putbacks. Same thing for Elizabeth Williams, who's been a double-double machine and rebounding pretty well whenever she's been out there on the court, especially when the matchup allows for her to be able to do so. We've seen it in back-to-back games for her going up against Connecticut Suns and Golden State Valkyries. It can be the same thing here going up against the Chicago Sky. When they played earlier this season, I'm not too sure if Elizabeth Williams, let me see. When they played earlier this season, Elizabeth Williams, she played 27 minutes in that game, and she had 23 fantasy points going up against them. I definitely do not mind it. Of course, we have seen them be able to bleed fantasy points to opposing power forwards. Definitely don't have to go down the rabbit hole in regards to that one, but I do like the upside. Same thing for Cardosa. When she played versus them earlier this season, she played 28 minutes, had 32 fantasy points. Again, keep in mind that game was a massive blowout. Outside of that, I will say everyone else priced up way too high, as if players are still missing. If Reese is in and whatnot, I don't see myself really messing with too much with Chicago when it comes down to it. Atlanta taking on the Las Vegas Fakers. I'm gonna call them Fakers because what the hell Kirsten Bell went out there and did is fake. It's not real. It's not real news, and I'm not gonna consider it as real at all. On the Atlanta side of things, we're still going to have Jordan Canada being out. We're going to see Ryan Howard, of course, running that point position over here for him. Nas Hill and Maya Cadwell, they're starting. It seems like they're pretty set on bringing Brittany Griner off the bench. It seems like they're very much set in regards to doing that. Her price, of course, is slowly starting to trickle down as she's only seeing roughly less than 20 minutes a game. That's great. And I don't think that it's going to change right here in this matchup and spot for her at all. We should see Brianna Jones try to do as best as she can going up against A'ja Wilson out there. Bree Jones, I will admit, though, last couple of centers have not done well going up against A'ja, like MVP level A'ja. So 9,300, I don't see myself getting there to Bree. Straight up cutting the bullshit, my favorite player over here from the Atlanta side would be Alicia Gray. She likes playing going up against A'ja. She played very well going up against them earlier this season. In 36 minutes, she had 41 fantasy points. She's been steady Freddy for us over here from the Atlanta Dream side of things. I like her. Great position spot. Nice spend up. Gets you off of Serena Lunescu, something like that. Courtney Williams, she'll get you off of that right there. If you want GPP upside and you want to take a swing, definitely can mess with Ryan Howard. Ryan did not play in the game that they played going up against the Aces earlier this season. So that could be a position that you pivot down to, sitting at 10K, which is more of a Ryan Howard type of price. If she's able to go out here and knock down her 3-ball, that's going to really definitely boost her up. Coming off of 4 of 8 from 3 game, and we know she is facilitating. She can rebound. She's going to be able to do those things here. She's a big guard. Even if you put Jackie Young on her, Jackie's going to try to out-physical her, try to use that lateral movement. And then if you try to put Chelsea Gray on her, she's just going to be able to beat her with foot speed or shit. Decide if she wants to just go ahead and pull up. Ryan's like a sicko out there when it comes down to those things. On the Las Vegas Aces side of thing, A'ja Wilson, 13K. Straight up, being honest, you might be able to fade A'ja. You might be able to fade A'ja today. 13K is rich. And I understand she's putting up some great numbers. 55, 56, 52, 67, 49, 46. Awesome. Amazing. Great numbers. Not going to argue with playing A'ja Wilson. I do think maybe you can come down and play Jackie Young instead of paying up and paying for A'ja. Or, I mean, Chelsea Gray, she's been out here cooking and looking pretty good over her last couple games. The point guard is out here getting 14-something assists. Of course, that was going against my Dallas Wings, but back-to-back really great games. Just some options and some pivots. Of course, favorite play over here from the Aces will always be A'ja Wilson, just because she's a bona fide star, bona fide stud. She knows what she's going out there and doing. She likes to play going up against a girl, Alicia Gray, as well. 56 fantasy points in that game going up against them when they played earlier this season. We can't knock it. Looks like they're content with starting Kirsten Bell. I am not going to chase the Kirsten Bell 32 fantasy point game. I won't. I do still think Dana Evans playing off the bench is good value, and she actually played very well going up against them early in the season out there. I don't mind her as a potential play. She had 24 fantasy points in 23 minutes versus Atlanta. That's a good value piece right there. Someone that we know is in the rotation, and I will take a swing and a chance on her, especially because she is seeing decent teen minutes when it comes out to it. Last game of the slate, Phoenix Mercury taking on the Golden State Valkyrie. If you guys have not subscribed already, you're making it this far, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button to go ahead and continue to support your boy. Like I've been saying numerous times over here, guys, once we reach 8,000, well, not 8,000, Lord have mercy. Once we reach 2,000 subs, we have an A'ja Wilson jersey to do a giveaway for. So definitely help your boy get to that 2,000 sub mark. We're close. We are honestly very close, and I do think we can hit that by the end of the whole WNBA season going into the playoffs. We are so close to get there. Continue to support your boy, especially with all the content and everything that I put out over here. Phoenix Mercury taking on the Golden State Valkyrie. This game is going to be ugly. Just like how that last game, the Atlanta and the Golden State Valkyrie game was ugly, this is going to be just as ugly right here. If Monique is going to be out again, this is where we can go ahead and just know that this is what's going to happen. If Monique is going to be out, miss time, or anything like that, AT, even though she already is technically the point guard, because that's what she runs and does for them, she's going to be starting at point. She's going to play point. Just don't even question it. That's what they're going to list her as. Sammy Wickham is going to slide in there. Everyone's going to shift down, which they already do. Nothing is truly changed. Just, I guess, for whatever reason, some people's perspective changes when they hear, oh, AT is starting at point. AT brings the ball up the damn court. AT initiates the offense. She already does everything. If you actually watch the games, you know this already. You know this. Monique is technically playing like a tweener too. Yes, sometimes she will facilitate and do a little bit of something out there, but all of it is Alyssa Thomas. Highest usage on this team. She's rocking and rolling. She's doing everything. Alyssa Thomas, though, going up against the Golden State Valkyries, I don't mind her at all. This is what I'm saying. I don't feel like you have to necessarily pay it for A'ja. It's an okay spot. In the one game that she played going up against them, 35 minutes, she had 44 fantasy points. Triple double upside. That's it. That's the spiel. That's the play. That's the breakdown right there for Alyssa Thomas. Outside of that, Satu Sabali, if she's able to knock down those threes, it could be a great spot position. We do know Golden State, they will give up those threes because they like to collapse in the paint, which would make it, I would imagine it should be a harder time for Alyssa Thomas, but she's quick. She looks like she just has her footing, her step, everything. That spin move, all of that stuff is working for her. The pop shot, everything is looking smooth and silky for her right now, and I'm not going to challenge it or question it. Satu, though, I do like her. 25 minutes, she had 38 fantasy points versus the Golden State Valkyries earlier this season. Decent position to spot. K Copper, like I've been saying numerous times, very much reliant on her actually going out there and scoring and just doing well with that. She had 30.75 fantasy points last game in 35 minutes. Not bad at all. I want to say going up against the Golden State Valkyries, she did not play in that game, so this would be the first time for her. Definitely a player that can succeed for the fact that, again, they like to trap, they like to collapse on the paint. You're kicking it out to open shooters. Sammy should be able to go out here and rain down some threes. K-Cop should be able to go out here and rain down some threes. Same thing for Satu Sabali, if she's actually going to be able to be on one from the three-point line as well. I definitely do like all of those guys, especially those three-point shooters. Not mess with Natasha Mack, because even though she's starting, they're pulling her, and you're having a small ball line where you're having Dewana Bonner come in there, or they're running out West Bell instead. So I don't see any need to really mess with any of that over there. On the Golden State Valkyrie side of things, looking at it from them, last game, Rupert, she got elbowed, I believe, in the head or something like that, so she's going to be out. Billings is already out. To me, what that means, of course, Fag Billings is starting. Her minutes could be more secure. Might. I know she only played 14 minutes in this game, but of course, you remember Rupert, she's out there, she was playing 12 minutes, and that was the only reason why we actually got to see me here play 14, because you got to dust off of me here now behind Fag Bentley. Before that, Rupert was playing 20-something minutes. I don't know what's going on with Fag Bentley and why they're not wanting to play her the minutes, but with Rupert being out, I have a very strong feeling that me here will have to be needed, and you're going to have to play her, especially if Fag Bentley gets herself into foul trouble. We know me here can be a really great fantasy point per minute player. Remember early in the season when she was going out there and she was chucking, she was cooking, and she's not scared to go out there and shoot it. She can give you some pretty good stuff on the defensive side of things. Going up against the Phoenix Mercury, she only played one game versus them. In 9 minutes, she had 8 fantasy points. I would definitely take a risk, a stab. If I'm making multiple lines, there's some really key value pieces on today's slate, and pretty much that really just, well, from the Golden State Valkyries, of course, you can look towards Zan Lassini, who's been playing great, 7,400, three-point shooter. I definitely do not mind it at all right there. Veronica Burton or Tiffany Hayes, guards going up against Phoenix Mercury. We have tried to attack them with that on the season. Definitely be something I can go back to. We do know all the usage is there for them. Veronica Burton, she did take a tumble last game. I want to say she got hit in the ribs or something like that. Came back, but definitely something to pay attention to. Maybe she might have some extra padding, might be moving a little bit slower, something like that. Had decent games going up against the Phoenix Mercury early in the season with 36 and 25 fantasy points. Definitely would be in play and consideration as a potential option to me on the slate. But Tiffany Hayes will be the pivot that you can definitely get down there to. She's only played in 1 out of the 2 games, had 27 fantasy points in that one. So that would be your pivot that you can switch down to right there. Now, what I was saying in regards to all the value that we actually do have on the slate. If we're getting crazy, you can definitely mess with, make sure, Aaliyah Edwards. That's one value play. If you want to be safe instead in this game, Clark, who we do know she's going to go out there. She's a tweener in regards to a guard/forward out there for them. There's no JC Sheldon. The minutes are you serious right now? The minutes are coinciding in regards to her actually playing upwards of 20 minutes with no JC Sheldon being out there. She's just pretty much doing everything whenever she's out there, getting rebounds. She can also facilitate, and she's also scoring and brings us some defensive chops, especially when you're going up against a team like the Connecticut Sun. Marina Mabry does like to turn the ball over as well. Over there, you can pressure and things of that nature. And then, like what I just said, me here. 3,400. That's 3 different forward value plays over here that you can get to on the slate that I really actually do like. And then the last value option, and we talked about it. I can't believe Pow Pow sitting at 5,200 again. Even though I know she's getting the minutes, but that's crazy. Uzan, I didn't talk about her in the Chicago game. I don't like her here going up against Seattle. I understand that she went out there and she somewhat did something at the start of that game, but I'm not even going to trust that. Dana Evans is the main person that I trust from the guard position as a decent value option on the slate. Straight up. Now, typically, whenever I look at the slate and I see that I have good value at forward, bad value at guard, You might pay up at forward, find you some weird value at guard just to get different. But there's some really great value right here. This is good value to me in my eyes. I'm not saying play all of them. I'd say take one. They're underneath 5K. That's going to let you build a very safe lineup. And what you're wanting to get from these players right here, 15 fantasy points, upwards of 20. All of them have that upside. The most risky one will be Dana Evans. Of course, Dana Evans will be the more risky one to get there, but Aaliyah Edwards, revenge narrative. Clark is the safest one behind her. Me here would be the next one to me. So if I am ranking them, Clark, me here, Edwards, Evans. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Good luck to everybody on the slate. Ran 30 minutes. Didn't even try to make this one short. Just want to give you guys the sauce. I'm tired. Your boy's going to bed. Peace.